Hello everyone, we are here, we are live, we are ready to go, and we are picking up right where we actually why don't we start off by just warping ourselves to sunrise here so we can see what is going on. And actually just to remind people of kind of where we're at, I'm hoping this is the last episode in this whole probe frenzy phase of this, and I'm hoping with the next stream that we'll be getting more into Kerbals in space. I want to get into the space station and regular travel within the Kerbin system. That's Kerbin, the Moon, and Minmus. Just to remind, or actually not remind people, because there was a little bit of confusion with stream times. I thought I was going to be busy for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Turned out I had my days wrong. I'm actually busy marking math contests on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So it's actually Thursday. There will not be a stream. But we are having a stream today. No stream on Thursday. And then next week we're back to our regular schedule. So anyway, just to remind people of kind of where we're sitting with things, I do have this Minmus probes strategy, which rewards me handsomely for landing 3 probes in 3 different biomes on the surface of Minmus, and that's what I want to accomplish today. That's my goal for today. Maybe we'll get into some other things as well, but our primary goal is that will finish off Minmus probes. I'll also dump the probe frenzy bit, which is actually encouraging me to put things into uncrewed stuff as opposed to crewed vessels. We're going to hopefully get rid of both of these today and start focusing next stream on Kerbals. Let's get into the administration building, and I want to take a very, very quick look at contracts here. Because I was looking at these a bit ahead of time. We're going to Minmus, so I want to go to Minmus exploration. There's an impact Minmus one. I'm going to grab it. I'm not sure how fast. I'm not sure if landing will count as an impact. So I'm gonna, if it doesn't count, I'll just nail something into Minmus at some future date. But I'll grab that impact Minmus one, at least it's easy. I'm also going to grab the satellite around Minmus, because before we land, we're gonna get in orbit. And so that should be part of the process. And then I got this soft landing on Minmus. I'm going to grab that one as well. So I'm hoping to polish off these 3 contracts at the same time we do the other stuff. There's also under satellites, let me get this right. There it is down here. There are these stationary and synchronous orbits about Minmus contracts. They're slightly different. A synchronous orbit just has a period that matches the rotational period of Minmus. But that orbit is not necessarily circular and not necessarily equatorial. So for instance, this synchronous orbit, you can see the apoapsis and periapsis are different. Its inclination is basically a retrograde orbit. But its period must be the same as the period for Minmus's rotation, and what that means is just every orbit it does, it ends up over the same spot on Minmus, but between that it's going to wobble around. But there's also a stationary orbit. A stationary orbit is circular with an inclination of 0. I'm thinking, and for whatever reason, I think this one would be the harder one to get, but this one's worth more. So I'm going to grab the one that's worth more and figure what I'll do is before I land on Minmus, I'll temporarily go into this orbit and hang on to it for a little bit. I'm hoping, I didn't really look at if it ends up being a mistake, it's a mistake. And then we'll go down and do a land. So I want to try and get as many contracts out of the same mission as I can. I also want to show people, not that I'm going to do this right away, but this Coast Guard, KSC Coast Guard pack. This is coming from Giving Aircraft Purpose, and this is what unlocked because I landed on the helipad last week. What they have are 2 rescue contracts that it oscillates between these 2. And the one that's active now that it, and I hope they meant this sarcastically, they put the words easy here because this one is definitely not easy, is to rescue climbers near K2. K2 is actually the highest peak, turns out, is the highest peak in that mountain range that's to the west of the Kerbal Space Center. So you got to fly there, go land right on the peak, one of the highest peaks, pick up a Kerbal, and then fly over to one of the other highest peaks. And I mean like right on the top. I've done this before. Pick up another Kerbal. It is not easy. But what it has a duration of, you can see here, is 3 hours and 42 minutes, and then it's going to expire. And when it expires, you get this other one, which is Rescue a Pilot. And the pilot one is way easier. The pilot is in the water off the coast of the KSC. And that's why I built that rescue helicopter with pontoons on it, so I could land and do one of these things. So in about 4 hours, this one will come active. So what I'm thinking I'll do is I want to do this one first. I'll probably try this at some point, but I want to do the easier one first, which is the Rescue the Pilot. And that's going to come up in about 4 hours. Going to use alarm clock. I'm going to set an alarm for that. I'm going to do that right now. This is just going to be a raw alarm to check contracts in about 4 hours time. So we'll just put 4 hours in here. And so I'm going to do that. But right now, with all of that out of the way, what I want to do is get in here and build myself some landers. That is the main plan for today. Philippe asks, do you ever use the prototype marketplace? The prototype marketplace, you might have noticed it when I was in here. I'll show it. Why don't I go out there and show it? Why not? The prototype marketplace also comes with giving aircraft purpose, I believe. It's right here. I'm always skipping over it. And basically what you can do is you can purchase technology. For 2,500 Kerbucks, notice the negative, I can purchase a command seat. Or I can purchase for 750 Kerbucks a mini I-beam. It's kind of a neat idea. So these are before you actually research the tech for it. I never use it. I don't know why. It feels... I don't think it's cheaty. It's just another way to do it, but I just never do it. I could actually use the command seats, to be quite honest, but... why I don't use it, I don't know. It seems too easy. I guess that's it. Alright, let's build ourselves some Minmus landers. Now, I have unlocked some new tech. Get rid of this checklist for now. I have unlocked some new tech since... because of all the interplanetary nonsense I've done. There was an upside to that. I did bring in quite a lot of science, and I've unlocked some new tech. And I now have the Probodyne Octo 2 probe core. And besides being nice and small and skinny, it also has... if I click on it, more SAS capabilities. You can not only hold prograde, retrograde, but also radial and normal. So that's kind of nice. So that's that. It does not have reaction wheels though, so I definitely want to take the small inline reaction wheels and we'll shuffle that underneath that. I figure each of these landers should have in around 230 meters per second at delta V. Now there's quite a lot of science that I want to get. If I go in here, I want to do, let's configure the probe, because I did one flyby of Minmus and that's it. So most stuff is up for grabs. The telemetry report, I definitely want to do. Notice that you can do landed biome specific. The other one that is, and we'll do the thermometer and Geiger counter and stuff. The light experiment, notice it's only space low, space high, and it takes just 10 seconds to do it. So you don't want all of the landers. I'm going to plan on putting 3 landers in one craft. Only one of them needs to carry the light. So I won't make this one carry the light experiment. The might experiment needs to be in basically a polar orbit if you take a look at the min and max inclination. And it takes a long, well, it's is it biome? Yeah, it's biome. It's better to put a satellite in a polar orbit and let it collect. The sight experiment takes an hour to collect. And again, is space low, space high, so for a lander, it's not appropriate. So for here, all I'm going to do is the telemetry report. And we'll start that up. We're also going to do Clicking on here, I have the double C seismic accelerometer. We're going to click all of these on here. A Geiger counter right there. We have the thermometer right there. And we have the we have the brand new GravMax negative gravioli detector. That has been unlocked. Now I should take a closer look at the GravMax. That is new. I've not used it yet in this stream, and Kerbalism, of course, has sunk its claws into this thing and made it operate quite a bit differently. You can do space low, space high, and on the surface it's biome specific. So I do want to put one of these on every single one of my landers, but looking up here, it takes 90 days and 4 hours to complete an entire gravity scan in a particular situation. So it's going to need to sit there for a while. It needs to get itself through the Minmus night. So I need to make sure I have enough battery power to last through a Minmus night, which is about 1 Kerbin day. And if you take a look at the amount of data the data rate at which it transmits, that's what I want to take a look at. It is 13.28 kilobytes per second. Okay? That's a lot. Like, to give that to some perspective, here's the thermometer. The thermometer is only 3.26 kilobytes per second. And keep in mind, it's going to be doing this for 90 days. It's going to generate 26 gigabytes of data. You don't want to store that. You want to transmit it as you collect it. And if I take a look at my antennas, remember again, this was, what was it again? 13.28 kilobytes per second. If I take a look at my antennas, typically I would just be putting a Communitron 16 on this thing. The Communitron 16 only transmits at 2.2 kilobytes per second. So I need to up the game. Putting on more Communitron 16s won't cut it. The way Kerbalism transmission rates work, it looks at the best antenna you have, and it just looks like as if you had just one of it, and that's how it picks the rate. And then based on your signal strength as well. The rate goes down if your signal strength is down, I'm pretty sure. So putting on a whole pile of Communitron 16s does not improve the max speed. So I need to improve the max speed, and I have two options. I have the Communitron DTS-J1, which looks like that. And I have the Communitron DTS-M1, which looks like that. This one you've seen before. Let's extend it, because this one I used on my interplanetary probes that you saw a lot of over a while. The transmission rate of this one, of the DTS-M1, come on, is 25 kilobytes per second. And the transmission rate of the DTS-J1 is 65 kilobytes per second. So this one, the J1 is faster, but the J1 has less range. So that's the give and take of these two, right? Its range is only 2.0 gigameters, while this one, its rating is 5 gigameters. So this one is better for range, but a little slower on speed. This one's less range, but faster speed. But the masses are pretty close. This one is 55 kilograms. This one's 50 kilograms. So that's barely splitting the difference. But actually, I'm going to go with the J1, this top one, for the sole reason that this one's a radial part. So it's going to be awkward to stick it on there and then balance all the mass and everything. I could do two, but then that defeats the whole purpose of trying to save weight. So I'm going to use one of these. And this whole thing is here just because of this gravioli and the amount of data it's going to generate. Okay, so let's turn on all our science, because we're also going to have to think about electricity. I think that's going to take care of the science. I don't think there's anything else. Let me see. I wrote down what I wanted, and no, that's going to be it, and that's going to be on every single one of my landers. The Octo 2 has 20 megabytes of storage, and I determined that that was going to be enough. But what is going to be an issue is electricity, mostly because this thing needs to survive for the for a Minmus night when it can't generate enough solar for that. So I need to make sure that this can survive for about 6 hours. Right now it has enough battery strength to only survive for about 35 minutes, which is going to cut it. So let's see what we can do to extend the life of this thing. So we're going to go to batteries here. I'm going to stick on, let's just stick on one of these for now. And then I'm going to stick on, because I know I got to get this thing bigger. I've started to unlock a number of nice little structural parts now. I finally have like the octagonal struts and that kind of stuff. And then I'm also going to put on a structural tube. This is the 1.25 meter structural tube. It's nice because you can stow stuff inside here. And you can also extend it, make it longer. Like that. See? That's nice, right? But I'm using it because I need to get out wide, and then I'm going to stick stuff underneath. And what I'm going to stick underneath... Again, remember, I don't need a lot of Delta V to land on Minmus. I'm going to stick on, for now, just a single Oscar fuel can. Let's get that in there. There we go. See how you can hide that in there? Isn't that great? And then I'm going to get... I need a lot more electricity. Remember, this has got to survive for about 6 hours. So I'm going to get... Let's see. Let's start with, like... Can I get these in here? Yeah. 4 of these? Let's start with 4. Maybe 6? Oh, let's go with 6. What does that do for me? Now, oh no, I'm looking at, okay, 3 hours and 41 minutes. I need still a lot more electricity than that. What I could do, what is it? Oh, those are the battery stick. That looks kind of cool. Sorry, the batteries stuck out the top just by accident. And I thought that was like, wow, look at the textures on this part. But it's actually just the battery sticking out the top. But I actually kind of like it. And I'm not going to, I think I'm going to leave it just like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick on a couple more of these. I think I need more. And then I'm going to grab more of these. Let's see. Maybe just 4, though. Really need the battery. How's that? Now I'm up to 1 day and 0 hours. That will survive a Minmus night. I have no solar generation. So we need to put in some solar generation. So what I think I shall do is actually, back in the structure, use this cubic octagonal strut. Maybe another. No. Now let's stick with just the one for now. Put that back. And people have been getting on my back for not being stuck on the oxstats so much. And to be honest, about 6 of these oxstats will probably do it. But, you know what's one of the reasons is I thought when I looked at the, like for instance, these deployable solar panels, I thought this was 175 kilograms. And then I looked at the oxstats and they're 5 kilograms. And it's like, oh my God, like oxstats are way, way lighter per watt generation than the deployable ones. So that's why I've been one of the reasons why I've been stuck on the oxstats. But then I looked at it more closely and noticed the extra 0 here after the decimal place. This is only 17.5 kilograms. So once you're putting on 4 or more oxstats, you're probably better off with one of these anyway. So I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna stick this in here. Let's see. So we're starting to get something here. Only 2 of them though. To be honest, it really just needs 1. We'll make this look nicer too. It really just needs 1, but it's good to have 2 in case one of them fails. And for balance and symmetry, I think that looks a little bit better. Okay, and let's move these down. So that is now there. That is now there. That is now there. That is now there. We now are producing a ton of electricity, way more than we ever need. And again, if I put it in the dark, it will last for a day in the dark, which will survive a Minmus night. That's what I want. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. I did put a little bit of fuel on here. Let's sneak in another Oscar B under there. I think there's room. There. And then what I'm thinking Don't need a lot of thrust, but I'm looking at the spider engines. I've not used the spider engine, I think, yet. They're pretty late on the tech tree with probes, probes before crew tech tree. I've been using the ant a lot, and the spider's pretty much like the ant except for the fact that it can attach radially. Let's do that for now. And also it has a gimbaling ability, which is nice. The ant, I do not believe, has gimbaling ability. No, it does not. So what does that do for me there? That gives me, oh my gosh, 1,430 something meters per second. I only need about 230, so that extra Oscar B really wasn't necessary. So what I might just do, take that out. Again, let's get into some of these structural bits. I'm so glad to have these smaller structural pieces now. Again, we'll just slide those there now. 1.02 thrust to weight ratio. That's on Kerbin. To land on Minmus, I could get away with a lot less than that, but I kind of like when landing to have a thrust to weight ratio around 1. I'm just used to it, and I find being used to that kind of helps me out. Also, having 4 engines is nice because of, let's say this one failed, I could cut off that one and still have thrust to land on the other 2, and it would still all be balanced. Okay, that's 820 meters per second. That's still a lot. I might need to get... Okay, let's put landing gear on it. Let's not get carried. Let's put everything on here, and then we'll get into tweaking the fuel. So, landing gear like that. Micro landing strut should be fine. I think this is starting to look all right. I'm just trying to see if I'm... Well, we'll go through the checklist in just a little bit. I don't know. I'm thinking I'm getting close to it. Got some nice... I only noticed these when I was playing around to make the thumbnail, but there's a... This is Restock. Adds this nice gold... There's a silver one, too, on those landing legs, but I love... I don't know. Gold is always nice. Here, I'll make this one gold. Do these have other textures? No. And anything else under there really doesn't matter because you won't be seeing it. Okay, let's put some lights on there. How about this thing? Make it... I don't know if I like orange. What happens if I make this one orange? That makes this part look better. That is so accidental the way the tops of those batteries came out, but I just like it. What happens if I'm going to play around with this just a little more? Let's see. If I... A little bit higher. Oh, don't want to come too high. Just have those orange bits coming out. I like it. All right, all right. Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. Go with that. I don't think there's any textures on that. Okay, lights, lights, lights. Let's put on some blinky lights. So we'll put on 4 of these fellas. And again, remember the plan is these are going to be quick blinkers. Ah, no, half second, not like strobes. That'll be good. Does a different color look better? Probably the gray's better. Yeah. And we'll put down at the bottom here, rather than these big guys for landing lights, I'm going to use these little spotlight doobers. Keep the 4-way there. Come back. 4-way symmetry. Stick them between the engines. Yeah. Play with that. So there. Oh, come on. Is there not an arrow that actually just points? You're a pain. Okay. Just want to slide them outwards a bit. Like that. Maybe downwards a bit. So they're not there. That looks pretty good. And pitch angle, I want to pitch them outwards. Maybe to about 25 degrees, sure. And then I think I got to rotate them a little bit. Oh, that's the blink period, silly. There we go. 45 might be right. That looks right. So those will be like landing lights. They'll just shine down. These will be blinky lights. And then... let's some more spots. Always want to light this thing as best I can. Will they work here? Oop, put on that. I think I can make that work. Pitch angle again. Pitch them inwards a bit. Turn them on. Yeah, just to light up the whole craft like that. That's all right. See, maybe sink them in a bit. Oh, I got the fine control I need. Oh. Starting to... Got some funky glitchiness happening. Maybe it's better just leave it alone. Yeah, I don't like quite the way that is. What if... Oh, absolute. What if I slid them upwards, inwards, and then... Oh, no, now it's on that. No. Let's just live with that. We'll live with that. Okay. All right. This is Minmus 2, I think is what we're calling this. That's what I'm going to call it anyway, because I think Minmus 1 was the flyby one. Delta V is 713. What's the mass of this thing? Still under a ton. I might just take a little bit out of it. Again, to land on Minmus, I'm just budgeting about 230. So it's getting close to 3 times what I need. Having a little more than what I need isn't bad because if I can get that Oscar. Oh boy. Descending through here. Can I click the... There it is. Okay. Having more might allow us to do a bit of a hop. That is... Actually, let's go with here. This is 517. That's more than twice what I need. So, you know, once it's done in one biome, we can maybe hop them over to another biome. Of course, that hop isn't going to happen until after it's done the Gravioli thing, and that takes 90 days. Don't forget that. Okay, yeah, I will rename each probe as we... No Mercy says, don't forget to rename the probes. I'm definitely going to do that. But I'm thinking this is kind of a thing. Let's retract that. I just didn't like the way they were clipping into there. If I can get another two-way symmetry. I mean, I got the room. There, and then that way they're not. That way they're not clipping. That looks better. You can even move them down a little bit. Come on. Yeah. All right. I think I'm happy with this. So what I want, start retracted. Yeah. Is basically I want to try and get them all there at the same time. I mean, worst comes to worst, I can build 3 rockets, but it's clearly better and cheaper to send all of them all at the same time. So whether that's going to work or not, though, is a very, very good question. So let's see how we can do this here. Let's get the smallest of our decouplers. Stick that under here. This is going to need a little bit of... I think that'll work. And let's turn the force percentage like way down. And then I'll put an octagonal strut under that just to give it a little bit of clearance. Like that. And then we'll get a fairing. I should have 2.5 meter fairing. I have 1.875 meter fairings now, but what I'm looking at... Oh, okay. There's the 1.25 meter fairing. Will this should hopefully be big enough. This is going to be one of my bigger my bigger boys, I think when this is all said and done. Why am I doing this? Oh my gosh. I'm starting to build the fairing. I want to put a second one on here, silly. Interstage nodes on, and what I want to try and do is get another decoupler. Oh no, it's going to need another octagonal. Oh yeah, okay, that's as high as that goes. That's okay. And then another decoupler. And now can I grab, I think to do this, do I have to make, might have to make this, let's make the decoupler the root part. Will that work? Can I grab this out of here? Oh, I did not make this easy on myself, did I? No. See, that works. There we go. That's, I got it. And now we'll grab this and put it on top. I think that's making sense. Again, turn that force percentage way down. So that's one lander, that's two landers, and then I'll build something here, and then the whole thing will be the third lander. Am I crazy? I think that'll work. Let's make the root part back to being that probe body. Okay, and let's build. Okay, let's build. Oh, I don't like. I guess we can. I don't like. What if I delete? I'm looking at the truss structure. Notice how it all goes inside there, and I'm all. You can. The truss structure is purely cosmetic. There's no physics associated with it, but then when you delete it, you get this kind of stuff. I think I'll put the truss structure back. Of course, the other option is just to simply put, and maybe that's the thing. You know what? Maybe. Let's take this off. Maybe a bigger fairing is in order. I got the bigger fairing. Why don't I use it? So this is, I got a 1.875 meter fairing. Why not use it? Put in that truss structure on. Didn't it say? Oh, but interstage node's not on. Interstage node's on. Now put that there. That looks better. And now the truss structure isn't. That was purely cosmetic, but I think valuable cosmetics. All right, I did make the thing bigger though, didn't I? Okay, let's see here. I need to make now a vehicle that's capable of getting to Minmus, dropping these two dudes off, and then landing itself after it's dropped these two off. And I'm budgeting about 1,180 meters per second. We'll clearly go a little bit higher. Since I'm already into the 1.875 meter parts, why not take a look at what kind of 1.875 meter parts I got. Let's see, like, what about, these are fuel tanks. What are these like? Well, I could just go with, where's my smallest 1.875 meter fuel tank? Why are there two of these? I don't know. Okay, let's put on one of those. What does that look like with, I don't know, something like a Terrier on the bottom of it? What does that do for me? Yeah, that's good. It's a lot of thrust to weight ratio, about 1,230 meters per second at delta V. Yoich, I'm kind of already in the ballpark there, aren't I? What if I want to kind of transition downwards? That's not enough. That's not bad. I don't think I need as big an engine as this, though. What if I went with just the little baby pug engine? Let's That's a lot of delta V. I don't know. You always want to make these as small as you can. That's, oof. Wouldn't mind it. Maybe just a little more. Once you're in space, actually, I got a, no, you know what? I got a better plan. Better plan, better plan, better plan, better plan. But I was just about to say, once you're in space, I threw away that transition guy. I didn't want to. Thrust to weight is not a big deal. 0.58 meters per second of thrust to weight ratio is actually quite a lot. It's more than what you need, and by the time I drop these two, it'll have a huge thrust to weight ratio to help with the landing. So you always want to get the lightest engine that you can. You know, like they say, how low can your thrust to weight ratio go? Almost as low as you want. So don't put on bigger engines that you can. It not only affects the delta V, like here, if you just want, like that was 2101 meters per second at delta V. This guy is 1,857 meters per second. But if you take a look at their ISPs, I'm sure they're in the same ballpark. The Pug has 330, and the Terrier is 345. This is actually the more efficient engine, but this one gives you the higher delta V because it's so much lighter. So go with light engines. It really, really does help you out. I'm thinking, I'm kind of, okay, I know. Oh, another thing I want to do. I want to take this fairing. I want to rotate it. The whole purpose for that rotation was because the truss structure, that way when the solar panels deploy, they don't go through the truss structure. 2101 is almost 1,000 more than what I need. And so what I'm thinking, yeah, but then I'm going to be, I'm thinking of building a stage that can also handle the upper part of the atmosphere is what I'm thinking. But then 0.58 is a little on the low. Maybe I am better off going back to the Terrier engine. Terrier engine, that's 1,000. That's too little. But if I increase the size of this to this, $25.05. Again, I need about 1,200 for the transfer and landing. And then this can also handle the upper stage. I think I'm going with this. And then this can handle the upper stage part of the ascent as well. Kind of like it with the little gold on there. Now, of course, I'm drifting into aesthetics mode again. What else is new? There we go. Make this one cool. I'm a huge fan of the orange. Okay, we're going to build the fairing. We're going to put a booster under this thing. Oh, you know what I forgot? I know. Stop. I did not put a KOS probe core on this anywhere. And in fact, this whole thing doesn't even... Oh my gosh, what a doofus. This thing's supposed to land. Oh, okay. I'm not thinking. I am not thinking straight. Okay. Sorry. Were people saying that and that this is supposed to be a third probe, and it can't do squeak nothing as of right yet. So let's put this here. Gonna stick on. I wasn't even thinking probe core. Gonna also stick on some bigger reaction wheels. Not the small ones, silly. The big ones. The bigger ones. You know what? That's probably too much. Let's go back to the small ones. Okay, let's put that back. Can you get it? Okay. I think it's being goofy. Yep. Let's turn off the truss structure for just a little. If you're finding yourself having trouble with all the interstage nodes, you can turn them off temporarily, so that will sit on the bottom. There. Okay. So now, what do we got happening here? Bring this engine to the bottom. Okay. We need landing gear. I got all into just getting it there and not thinking about the fact that this thing's supposed to land too. Okay, we'll deal with that in just a little bit. I think I have a shallower... That's the whole Rocco Max. Yeah, that's the big one. That's big. That might do a better job right there. Sorry, I'm just thinking. I'm thinking out loud. Only because now the landing gear have to clear that engine. Of course, now I don't have the Delta V, but let's get one thing at a time going here. This thing also needs the science. Oh my gosh. Science. Science. Configure the science. Telemetry report I want, and I also want this one to do the light experiment. There we go. That should do that. On. Oh, it's already running someplace else, of course. Yeah. Okay. It's going to need as much Oh, no. Yes, it will. It'll need as much battery power as the rest of them, but I do need put on a GrabMax Gravioli detector. Oh my gosh, I was completely forgetting about all this stuff. The Geiger counter, the accelerometer, and the thermometer. It's going to need a ton of batteries. I put on 8. I think I'm going to need to make this thing taller. Oh boy. Okay. I don't think I need... Let's make this one here the root part for now. You can come out for now. I just want to match the batteries that the other ones have because it's going to need them too. Like that. Like that. Four like that. This can go back. It's not fitting under there, so this one needs to come up one more node. Oh, I need to turn on those interstage nodes again. Doo-doo-doo. There we go. Okay, dump, 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 dump. This thing's gonna need the same solar generation. All this stuff. So we're gonna stick in. Gotta get some solar panels on this. There. There, that's just to give a little bit of... Well, actually, I don't think I need those last ones. Again, we'll use these ones. All this stuff, didn't think about it. I'm hitting the wrong... There. I still gonna need 4 more of these big batteries. I just want to make anything else on here that I'm forgetting. No, just more batteries, I think. I can get away with simply, because I got the space here, is just put 4 of them on the outside. I mean, why not? Like that. Now, I'm sure I don't have anywhere near the Delta V. Well, not bad. Not bad. Yeah, I think this is okay. I don't think I need to play with this much more than it already is. There. It's turning out to be not so bad. Okay, let's go through my checklist. This is a good time to go through the checklist. Do you need 6 more batteries? I think I'm good for batteries now. I think it has the same batteries. Oh, 6 more batteries. Oh, I think they're right. I think I stuck 6 under there, didn't I? Yep. Let's go with 6. Thank you. 6 batteries. And then let's change that to the... Let's change this to 3-way symmetry. They're the heavier landing gear. It'll land on those easy once... especially once these are gone and they've landed themselves. Okay, let's go through our checklist here a little bit. Contracts. let's look at contracts here. So, what is this thing going to do? I got a lot of contracts that I've been picking up as we go. Get a satellite of Minmus. So this is going to be, I'm going to start a new mission. Should get rid of those old ones. This is the Minmus 2. Create a mission. Okay, we're going to go, nope, not that one. Hopefully we can do this one. Add that to the Minmus 2. Soft landing on Minmus for sure. I'm going to do at least one of those. Minmus 2. Soft landing on the moon won't happen yet. Minmus probes, we're hopefully finishing that off with this one. Position a satellite in a stationary orbit. That's going to be part of the plan. Wow, it's 5 contracts. So 5 contracts. Let's select, okay, so let's just, I got my fine print here. Just land and transmit. Okay, Minmus probes, just land in 3 different biomes. There are the biomes I have available, so that's all there is to that. Position a satellite into a specific orbit. Okay, so it's got to have unmanned, have an antenna, has to be able to generate power, can do all that. Reach a stationary orbit about Minmus with minimal deviation. Hold it, hold stationary orbit directly above, oh crap, okay, that's an extra little hitch. It has to be above a specific waypoint. Oh, yippee-ki-yay. Okay. I'll have to have an accelerometer aboard. I do have that. I have to have a thermometer aboard. I do have that. I have to have a mystery goo aboard. I hate this stuff, but oh well, okay. We'll stick a mystery goo on there for a stupid reason. Remember, with Kerbalism, you can't transmit any of this stuff. So this mystery goo will be useless. Will be 100% crap. But we'll put it on there because the contract wants it there. You happy now? Okay, so there's a mystery goo. Alright, so we checked that fine print. Satellite of Minmus. Impact Minmus. That's pretty simple. Soft land on Minmus. Simple. Transmit from the Minmus Pro. I've already looked at that. Station. Okay. I think I'm good for that. Okay. So I'm glad I checked the fine print. We have control. KOS. I haven't put a KOS chip on this thing yet. KOS chip. Where are you? There's the little one. Stick you right in there. Gonna up your data storage to 10, I think that's kilobytes. And load up a boot file. Put that back. Didn't look like that worked right. Oh, shoot. Okay, I'm gonna grab this. This is a duplicate of it. I hit undo and it got rid of the whole thing. That looks better. Okay. KOS, probe bodies have been configured, added in the science, got power generation, got electrical storage, got antenna strength, should be good. Oh, this guy needs an you know what? Because this guy has, what we're gonna do, it's gonna be pretty tough to put one of these J1 antennas on this one because of the way it's built, but remember that these DTS M1s are just about as good, so what we're going to do is put in 2 of the DTS M1. Actually, just put in 1. There's no reason for 2. And that will kind of balance off what's going on with the there a little bit. So just one of these, that'll be fine. Extend the antenna, yeah, that'll be good. Okay, so antenna speed, data storage I've taken a look at. Propulsion should be good. RCS are irrelevant. Parachutes are irrelevant. Thermal protection are irrelevant. Lights! These guys all have lights on it, but the bottom one certainly doesn't. So lights. This is actually taking a little longer than I originally envisioned, but maybe that's not so bad. It's a complicated thing. Keep them dark. Lights on. That should be good. Those would be for landing lights. And then we need blinky lights because you always need blinky lights. Let's put all the blinky lights around here. Sure. Amber lights. Half-second interval. Blink on. Okay, and then finally we'll put some more of these little spotlights just inside here, just to sort of light up the inside a little bit, because you can't have too many lights. Okay, how are we doing here? Lights, upgrades. This thing has how many ignitions on it? 23, should be fine. Blows up, it's not like it's got Kerbals in it. Thrust to weight is fine. Fairing deploy, I like this to be on, let's put it up to 6. Up the force a little bit. We'll test that for sure. Staging and stuff, okay, we'll get to that in just a bit. So we're through most of this. Let's test the fairing. Why don't we do that? So let's build this fairing. I'm hoping I can just go straight up. I can definitely just go straight up. This is going to be a monstrous vehicle. This is going to be a big one. I'm going to have to definitely build, I think, a custom booster for this. There we go. Okay, so we're going to just run a very quick simulation, and the whole purpose of this simulation is just to make sure the fairings deploy okay. What's your torque look like, says No Mercy. It's a good thing to check. Should be okay. I've been largely symmetrical. And there's a reasonable amount of reaction wheels, because there's 3 of those small inline reaction wheels on this. So it should be okay. Okay, all I want to do is this thing. Looks like it was threatening to fall over. All I want to do is just deploy the fairing and make sure that they deploy without... Oh, wow, that is a lot of force. Okay. I don't think I put on the clamshell deploy. Terminate the simulation. That went all confetti-like, didn't it? Try that again. Definitely didn't have clamshell deploy on. You know what? I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, we're going to take this out of the staging. Because our... there. And... oh my gosh. We got engines everywhere. This engine should be on the bottom. And you know what? We'll deal with all the rest of that at some other. That's whatever. That doesn't matter. Let's retract the landing gear. Yoich. Okay, how much mass does this thing have? 6.24 tons. We'll look at my stock boosters that I've saved over. Well, I got this one that apparently can do 8 tons. I have this one that can do 6. And remember that this should be able to handle the upper stage, but I think this might not look right. I don't like it. I don't like it. What happens if I stick? Let's do this one and see if we can not just simplify. That's a nice 2.5 meter. I put some sort of a transition there. Let's see if we can fix this up. We'll modify this one booster. Okay, I'm going to put that decoupler on there. Then I'm going to put a... oh, I don't have a 2.5 meter fairing. I forgot about that. Shoot. That's what makes that transition so freaking ugly. What do we have for 2.5 meter parts? I need to get me a 2.5 meter fairing. That should be on my to-do list. I mean, I got this, right? That's a transition. Meh. Don't like. Well, we'll see. If it's ugly, it's ugly. As long as it flies, right? As long as it flies. I really don't like this whole connection here. I think that's horrific. Oh my gosh, let's check the... So this has got a lot of asparaginus going. I don't think I need that much. Like, it's 38 before I even get to stage 2. And stage 2 is this engine here. So let's start removing some of these boosters. I don't think I need them. Taking that off. 34. Oh, maybe that was a mistake. Put that back. You know, I'm kind of tempted just to simulate this and just kind of see what happens. I really am. So it's got all of these engines all going off at the same time. Then it lets go. Then it's going to... Oh, those engines come out later. Then these let go. And then that lets go. All right, let's see. What do we got for our launch? What do we got for our thrust awaits? Thrust awaits are kind of berserk. I think I'm better off with what I had before. I know that was a lot. Sorry. I got to go back to what I had before. That's just stupid. I know this is stupid too, but it's slightly less stupid. In my opinion, it's slightly... Some of these are old. I really need to build more boosters. Okay. How much thrust is on you? That's full on. And then all 4 of these go at the same time. Let's just test this. Let's see what happens. I mean, you know, I might just want to... I've already fiddled around with this so much, I probably would have been better off just building something from scratch. But what we'll do is just do that. Ugh, okay. Let's see what happens. What's the worst that can happen? Okay, what is going on with these boosters? Are they all the same? Yeah, they look like they're the same. They don't go together, though. Just want to increase the thrust to weight just a little bit on launch. That looks good. All right, let's test this thing. I think it might be... I think it might go really badly. What is going on here? That's a Valiant engine in there. Where's that Valiant engine in all of this? Booster. There's the Valiant, so that needs to go here. Okay, that's making a little more sense. Might be able to get away with just taking that stage out. Let's see. Let's find out what happens. It might fly, it might not fly. Whatever happens, happens. This is a simulation. Simulation of a very ugly rocket. Very, very ugly rocket. I got me a feeling well, we'll see. I might be shocked and this thing might fly just fine, but really what I think I should be doing is just building something. Building something from scratch rather than being always reusing these things. Sometimes you spend more time trying to make something old work than you are just building something new. Well, step 1's good. It ain't a pretty one. So here we are. We're in the crash simulator, as you can see. We got. I still really like this simulated exhaust. I think that's really cute. And we're going into an orbit with a 6-degree inclination, hence why the heading is 83 degrees. I don't think I have any smart parts on this boost. No, this is such an old booster. Why am I using this? So, to make sure to stage that. There's so many stages too. It's going to use these, and then there's a Bobcat down here, and then there's a Valiant here for an upper stage, and then this thing will probably still go before we're finally in orbit. Amazingly, it's kind of holding together. I'm a little bit shocked it isn't kind of a wonky mess. Okay, I gotta get ready to stage those boosters. There it goes. Alright, and now it's on this Bobcat engine that is at full thrust, so a little low on the thrust, I think. We'll see how it goes. Keep track of what our apoapsis is. Ricky asks, can you calculate routes on this simulator mod? I'm not 100% sure what you mean by routes. You mean, you put nodes on, and you can do an entire mission on simulation if you want. It's just the more time you spend with it, the more it's costing you. You can see the cost clicking up here. So you can be in the simulation as long as you want to be, as long as you got money to spend. So yeah, you could test out an entire mission. Okay, I gotta get ready to stage again. This is a dumb thing. I can build something better than this. I keep saying that, but I know if it works, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna use this if this works. It's underpowered down here for sure. It should have needed more thrust lower on. Right now you can see the prograde vector falling. Are we getting close to apoapsis? We're not. Should be good. Okay, gotta get ready to stage. Oh, it staged that one by itself. Not sure why. Okay, that's interesting. Now it's on the Valiant engine, which is I like these restock engines that get added in. I think they're really, really nice. Oh, I should also get ready to deploy this, because I didn't attach that to an action group, did I? Oh, what? Are we at 80? No. Why did it stop? Aborted. Okay, we're done. We're done. So, just to explain what just happened here, we can let this go. The script aborted the program because it didn't like the trajectory it was on compared to where it should have been on, and that's likely because the thrust low down was too, didn't like it. So that's it. That booster's stupid. It's a stupid booster. It's a stupid booster. Can the Kraken strike in sim mode? It sure as heck can. Okay, we're going to get rid of this whole stupid booster. This was a dumb idea. We're building something from scratch. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put in... Sorry for wasting people's time with that, but I am going to do something, I think, what will be more sound. We're going to do that. We're going to use a 1.875 meter fairing to just kind of clean this up a little bit. You know what? Why not come around everything here? Close all this in. Why not indeed? And clean this up. And we'll come in here and close that. So that is a little cleaner. And what is my largest? No, you know what? Let's get a transition part to 2.5 meters. Like you? Oh, yes, like you, exactly. Still don't have a lot of 2.5 meter tanks. So we're going to do something like that. And then we have the skipper. Again, why I have two of them, I'm not sure. They are the same. Okay, I don't know. All right, so we're going to build something better. That's still a crazy thrust to weight ratio. This thing can go bigger. I can go bigger. I can go much bigger. Definitely one of the things I'm planning is to build, that's too big. Yeah. Okay, I can't go much bigger. That's okay. 1.92, 3,000. Boy, it's not going to need much past this. Just thinking. What are you... Actually, jeepers, I think... No, I think I'm going to make a single stage. I think I'm going to make this just one stage like this. I think this is going to be fine. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with this. In fact, this is even a little bit too much. See, keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, stupid. I think this should do it. I'm going to turn the thrust down here a little bit. Give me a launch thrust of about 1.33. See, I'm spending less time doing this than I was fiddling with trying to make something old and stupid work. Let's change these tank colors. I can convince myself I have one of these orange tanks. Just a whole lot of these little ones instead. There we go. Make that orange. We're all orange. We're orange all the way. All the way, man. Okay. Yep. Yep. Okay. And I'm going to put this on a little boat tail on there. Can I put an orange boat tail on there? Yes, you can. All right. What do I got? I think what I need are some reaction wheels just in here. I think that would help tremendously. Right in there. Some reaction wheels. Now I got to rebuild that fairing, which I'll do in just a second. And I think this is all gimbaled up, right? Oh yeah, that has gimbaling. I think, really just a little bit, just to get a little bit of drag happening down there at the bottom. We'll recolor these. There we go. Okay, let's rebuild that fairing. This is going to be much better, much better. Much better. Okay. Let's get rid of the checklist. I think that's okay. Checklist there. Okay, launch clamps. Launch clamps. Launch clamps. All right. Okay, let's check that. A little bit more thrust. Just a little bit. This thing's going to be fine. Oh, look at that. It is very orange. When that stages, I want that fairing to stage. We'll put this on again. 6 pieces, clamshell deploy. A little bit of force on it. Boom, boom, boom. That rocket should come on at the same time as all of those, and then this will sort out later. Take it off of Antmo. Yep. All right. I don't know. Now it's looking a little bit on the stupid side, isn't it? Isn't it a little bit too? Maybe black and white just for some of it. It was just too orange. Okay. Let's think. Okay, I want to get into action groups. That's what I want to get into. So, on action group number 5 is going to be this fairing. Deploy. On action group 0 will be, we'll just deploy these ones. Extend those solar panels. That will happen when we get into space. Lights will come on automatically. I don't think there's... Oh, wait, and antennas. We will also deploy this antenna. There isn't one on the other side, no. Oh, somebody was mentioning torque. I think the torque should be... Torque's small. Torque will be fine. This might be a little wobbly. It's pretty tall. We'll see. I might get some struts in there. Never hurts to put in a couple of struts. Could also do some auto strutting, but I'm thinking just strutting should probably do the trick. Put you on 3-way symmetry and just do that. Just that joint I don't like. Okay. I need a smart part. to handle the staging. I'm looking for the Drain X. There it is. So this one we'll be looking for. I only need one of them. There's liquid fuel in there. Yep. So when that runs out of liquid fuel, it's going to stage, and that will start the next stage. There we go. Isn't that simple? Let's test this one. Let's test this one. So this is obviously gonna this is taking longer than I thought, but I think it's gonna be a worthwhile build. And this should be just science, like tons and tons and tons of science. Tons. Fuel priority. PX Delta says, what about the fuel priority? I think it's such a simple rocket. I don't think adjusting fuel priority will be necessary. If it is, but we'll see. Okay, test launch again. So running launch, spelling launch right always helps. 6-degree inclination, 80-kilometer orbit. Boom. Might be wobbly. That's the one thing I'm a little concerned with. We'll see. We're off. All right. So far, so good. Let's see when it starts that gravity turn, if it starts to get wonky. That ain't bad. That ain't bad. It's going for a lunch. Somebody's... We are lunching. All right. You know what? Like, I gotta stop. I got the engines now. I want to start unlocking better engines, better tanks soon. But I do have it that like, the less stages you have, the less chances of things going wrong. So this will be just a 2-stage ascent now. It's going to be on this, and then the actual little Terrier engine that's on the main probe will be handling the very last part. That's the way it should work anyway, all in theory. But so far, it's doing really nice. It's tracking that prograde vector very, very nicely, which means that the script will be happy with the trajectory it's on. It is a lot of fairing, though, I'll say that. Okay, and yeah. Just knock the thrust back. And that's just to keep the time to apoapsis reasonably close by. It's not really looking at the time to apoapsis. It's just kind of arbitrarily knocking it to something I set, which is a thrust-to-weight ratio of 1.1. But it makes the ascents seem more... The ascents are more efficient if you could reduce the thrust towards the top part. I could make it a little bit smarter, but that takes more programming. All right, and... Wow, this is doing pretty good. I'm wondering if it's going to get all the way... Like, there's still 1,000 meters per second on this stage. And I'm thinking it might get all the way to its 80 kilometers, which is not that good because... Oh, well, we'll see. That wasn't the plan. It's just doing such a good job ascending. We're up to almost 1,600 meters per second. Like, that's closing in on orbital velocities. Oh. Why did it do that? Oh, I put the wrong fairing on there. Deploy that one too. Okay, I got a bit of a staging mishap there. That was okay. I put the wrong fairing on the action group. At least they both staged cleanly. Okay, I want to knock off maybe about 500 or 600 meters per second from that lower stage because I want this stage to be gone by the time it gets to this point. Because the circularization part of this might even mess up the program. Because it's going to need this... Well, I don't know. You know what? I might just live with it. Why not just live with it? Yeah, it's going to be able to do Okay, it's doing everything just on this stage. That's okay. It doesn't hurt to have more, right? So yeah, I got 348 meters per second left. There's 417 meters per second left in this stage. I might as well just... Okay, that's it. We're doing it. I'm not adjusting a thing. I'm doing it. Terminate simulation. I got to fix the one action group, and that's it. That's it, that's it, that's it. We're going to send this thing to Minmus. The only thing I needed to fix was to put... I have to put both sets of fairings. Miss that this fairing needs to be deployed too. There we go. I think this is good. Alright, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. We're launching right now. Let's go. Yes. I am so sure. There's a lot of ignitions on that Terrier engine. PX Delta asks, what about upper stage booster ignitions? There's something 27 something ignitions on that Terrier engine. It'll be fine. Rob DeVos says no, just one ignition on the Terrier? I don't think so. This guy? Oh, okay. Oh, shoot. Okay, I have to recover this. Thank you. There's only one ignition on this stupid skipper engine. Okay, so let's recover. This isn't a disaster. I'm not going to revert. We'll actually recover. Actually, reverting flight's the same as recovering at this point. Let's just revert back. Thank you, PX Delta and Rob DeVos were both noticing. There's just a single ignition on this skipper engine. So we're going to upgrade it to high. So now it has a whole 2 ignitions. Now that does increase the... Oh, it's still okay. It increases the cost. It increases the mass a little bit, but it's still fine. Okay, we're going to try it again. So there was a very good chance that skipper would not have ignited when it went to do the circularization burn. I gotta remember that. The skipper engine has only 1 ignition. Wow. Things to think about. Okay, not a disaster though. Now, ooh, wow, I got lots of communication lines here. We're obviously going to Minmus, and what I've been doing the last time I went to Minmus is I ended up playing around with the orbits like this. You want to launch at either the ascending or the descending node when the KSC is underneath it. And then somebody on a YouTube comment on one of my videos said, you know what you can do is you can just set Minmus as a target, and then you can have... I have it set up here. Kerbal Engineer tell you the time to the equatorial. That's not right. Okay, I still got to set up. Sorry. Let me set this up. I'm going to put it up in the second node here. It's good for people to see this anyway. If I go to the rendezvous section, we have time to the relative ascending node and time to the relative descending node. We'll install both of those. And in fact, what I think I might just do is also put a separator in there. That's under miscellaneous. Just to separate these sections. Separator. There, and then we'll move that separator up. There we go. That's wrong. There we go. Close that. Close that. Okay, so now what I have is Kerbal Engineer telling me I'm 5 minutes and 20 seconds from the relative ascending node with Minmus's orbit. So that tells me that in 5 minutes and 14 seconds, the KSC will be right underneath. That doesn't feel right. That feels like the relative descending node. Am I missing something? Oh, I have the... Oh my god, I put the wrong thing in there. Sorry, just a second. Back to rendezvous. Time to relative descending node. I have an angle in here that I don't care about. I know the Minmus is... It's still saying the AN. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? When that is clearly the descending node. Either way, 4 minutes and 27 seconds seems about right. Let's time warp a little bit. Rather than eyeballing it all the time. Now, I'm actually going to stop a few minutes early because it takes a few minutes to get up into orbit. And I think that will match better. That does look right. We're trusting it, but it's definitely the descending node, not the ascending node. So I'm not sure. I don't know what these little L's mean. Whatever. We're going to go towards the south. So we're going to run our launch script into a -6 degree inclination, 80 degree altitude. Let's go. Off we go. All right, so well, this thing, yeah, this thing is overbuilt for the probe because I actually designed this middle stage here to actually deal with some of the ascent. But you know what? That's not necessarily a bad thing, is it? Be overbuilt. No, it is not. All right. And looking at the stream, we'll get this going. We'll send this off to Minmus. And then obviously we'll probably be doing with the there we go. I'm going to replace the tongue with a new tongue and say we will probably be dealing with the landings next week. But hopefully all of this work was worthwhile. And I got a new booster that I think looks okay. I'm curious now about this time to relative ascending node and time to relative descending node, because it says one's 3 minutes and one's 6.5 minutes. I don't know how those can be so different. You know, they should be on opposite sides of the orbit. Well, maybe because our orbital, I don't know, because we're not really in it must be confused. Hopefully this will make sense once we're in an orbit, but we should be okay. We'll see. We'll see. All right, so again, it nerfs the thrust here a little bit, which really did improve the efficiency. It got up a lot easier than I thought it would. You know, the bigger rockets actually are more efficient because they're better at just plowing their way through the atmosphere. It seems, I mean, they use a ton more fuel, but by more efficient, I mean, when you look at the delta V, they use less delta V to get into orbit than the smaller rockets do because the atmosphere affects their mass less. I'm hoping that makes some sense. All right, at 50, we should be losing all of these fairings at 50 kilometers. There they go. Nicey nice. I got the question No Mercy asked, is this set for Kerbin or Minmus's AN and DN? And these are the relative ANs and DNs, ascending nodes and descending nodes, for the target. So as soon as I select Minmus as a target, these should be where the ascending nodes and descending nodes are for Minmus. Over here, I have the actual time to the equatorial ascending and descending node for the orbit in which I'm inserting myself about Kerbin. So this is different than this. Okay, we have hit our target of 80 kilometers. We are almost out of the atmosphere. Here we can time warp a little bit. Okay, and there we go. Everything's deploying and lighting up, and it's getting itself set to do the circularization burn. 346 meters per second, still 388 left in this stage. So it's using up pretty much all of this, but that is perfectly fine. I was worried when I did the simulation that I was actually going to be staging in the middle of this burn, and I know my launch script wouldn't be able to handle that. So I'm glad that didn't happen. If that did happen, I might have to go back and do a bit of a redesign. Oh, 30 seconds to the burn. It's actually going to start the burn before KSP thinks it should start the burn because it's not going to go to full thrust. Because right now the TWR on that skipper engine is 4.19. It doesn't want to do that. Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. You can see how low it has the thrust here for this part. You don't need a lot of thrust. See a lot of thrust at the beginning. Now, actually, this thing probably is collecting science already. I'm just thinking about that. It is not. Isn't there a... Oh, maybe I need to be in an orbit or something? Or maybe it's transmitting it as quickly as it's collecting it. Because there should be... Oh, I don't have it on. Let's turn on... Where are you? The gravity scan. There we go. Turn on a radiation scan. Also turn this stuff all on. The telemetry report, I must have turned them all off at some point. The seismic scan, doesn't matter right now. Temperature scan. But I mean, the gravity scan, it should definitely be collecting gravity scan because that's a brand new chunk of science. Okay, we are in our orbit. And... Oh, of course these would get messed up because it was matching the inclination with Minmus. And that always messes up where the AN and DNs are. That makes perfect sense. So it seemed to have put itself into an orbit that's matching Minmus's plane. So I think it's fine. Okay, let's get out there. Let's get out there. So we'll just type in here about 920 meters per second or thereabouts. And we'll tweak the timing just a little bit. It's making it further. Alright. Zoom in on Minmus here. Minmus with our lovely... Oh, look at that. This is the orbit it wants. So it wants us to insert into this orbit. Notice how close that is to my relay orbit. I never realized that my relay orbit's so close to a synchronous orbit about Minmus. That's interesting. But, interesting or not, what I really should be thinking about is bringing this in here. Whoops. Need a little bit more prograde. So I'm a little bit to the north, but not a bad insertion, all things considered. So I just need to have this periapsis just above here. But obviously it will never burn it this precisely anyway. So why am I being this picky about it? I don't know. I shouldn't be. There, that's good enough. All right, let's get ready for that burn. So that burn is coming up in 23 minutes. So let's get to it. Must have. Oh, and don't need that right now. I'm going to do this burn manually. Oh, let's tweak this. Want that thrust limiter much lower. That's better. Again, my script can't handle the staging event. So we're going to do this manually. Oh, can I ignite this engine again? That's a very good point. It might not ignite. It's down to 0 ignitions, but there's only 41 meters per second left in it. So if it doesn't ignite, it doesn't ignite. It's hardly a disaster if it doesn't ignite. We'll just stage right away and go right to the next engine. But that's a very good point. It's not a guaranteed this number of ignitions. It's a probability thing. The closer you are to 0, the more likely you'll get a failure. And it lit. So lucky me. And there we go. We're on to the next one. That smart part handled that. Nicey nice. We are off. Not a bad looking thing, I think. Oh, we can physics warp. Let's physics warp. Whoa. There is a lot of there are too many reaction wheels on this thing. It's hard to keep it. The control is really wonky. Okay, let's take that off. This might not be the best of insertions. We'll keep an eye on it here. Of course, we'll do a correction, so if this doesn't quite work, it's not like it's a big deal. Whoa, slow down. Here it comes. Oh, that ain't bad. That ain't bad. We'll live with that. Okay, I do have one last... Okay, here. Yep. I just remembered I do have a KOS script that's... Remember, I made this KOS script for aligning, and I can run my alignment script, align, and if I put in D, that stands for dorsal, and that should align this thing if I put the solar panels on correctly. So look at that, see? So that the solar panels are perpendicular to the galactic plane, or the ecliptic, I guess is really what this is. So that they'll have nice solar exposure all the way around. Let's set up that, we'll set up this transfer here. Yeah, we'll get ourselves to Minmus. We'll do, you know what, maybe we'll even do this insertion. We can do it. We can do this real quick. We'll get one contract out of the way. Other way. A little bit. Okay. Move this out just a little more. Oh, I've got it set too low. So I want that periapsis just a touch. See, it's got to come southwards just to touch that target orbit. A little bit more outwards. And then this is where we'll put our insertion. And then once that will be for a contract, and then we'll go down to a low orbit in order to do our, you know, our, that looks pretty good to me. That looks very good to me. Okay, let's reduce the thrust of this a lot, because it's saying the burn will only be even more than that. Eight-second burn should be fine. Okay, let's get out there again. I keep closing that KOS terminal. There's no reason for me to do it. Let's get out to that. Oh, look at that. I didn't. Oh, that I did it again. I was doing that last time. I keep forgetting to end my alignment program. Oh, I know what this is. Okay, it's aligning itself again. This is to check on my contracts. Okay. Okay, I'm going to let this settle out again. The reason it did that is because that alignment program is still running. And the reason is sometimes it takes a little bit to find sort of where it wants to be. It seems to have settled in now, and then I'm supposed to hit delete. That ends that program. But what that little alarm was all about was, here, let me actually set an alarm for that maneuver before I forget that it's there. Yeah, set an alarm for that maneuver. Let's get back to the Space Center. That was my alarm to check my contracts. Elliot Burton asks, what visual mods do I have? I have the environmental visual enhancement mods, but I think I don't know. It's weird. I installed it and I thought I installed all of it, but it doesn't have the sort of scatterer effects on it. It does have the clouds. I kind of like look at the dark clouds against the galaxy. That looks really good. But it doesn't have the sort of, I don't know. I've seen it. I've done it in different games and it looks different. So I'm not sure if I missed something or something. But it started with environmental visual enhancements, but I think I'm missing a component to give the sort of planet haze thing that's what I'm not seeing. Oh, anyway, what I wanted to do, I wanted to get into the Coast Guard. I want to do this one, is to rescue the Lieutenant I will rename Lieutenant Ribus. And oh yes, I forgot. Once I do it, I have a day to accept it. Shoot. Okay, I can't accept this yet. Because I wanted, yeah, let's accept it. Sorry, I can't accept it. So this is going to be a helicopter rescue mission from the sea. He's a pilot downed off of the KSC, and I'm going to put that helicopter to the test to go out and rescue him, see if I can pick myself up a pilot. But I think that's going to have to be for next week. I think I'm going to close this off, so next week we'll do that. We will land ourselves on Minmus and hopefully finish off all of that Minmus probe contracts, and then be able to concentrate our energy away from probes onto Kerbals. A little bit longer than I thought it was going to be for that build, so thank you everybody for kind of sticking with it. But I'm going to end this for now. Remember, there is not a stream on Thursday. The next stream will be Monday of next week, so everybody have yourselves a great week, and we'll see you all again soon.